Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds.
Recently, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous two-year contracts, they said, "What the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass?" So to recap, we're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
All right, let's get right down to it. I am back from a week in Mexico. I am absolutely fried. I have zero energy, but I will power through. So it is after the All-Star game, which was a debacle. But we'll get to that in a little bit. And we'll first want to get to this LeBron James, of course, talking about his future in LA, which is very much up in the air, even though he is saying all the right things. What did he say at All-Star? That he loves LA and that get the exact quote here, just like a jerk. I'm a Laker. I am happy, and I have been very happy being a Laker the last 6 years, and hopefully it stays that way. Well, all I read is hopefully it stays that way, because of course you're happy. You're a billionaire, you're in LA, and you're a superstar. But hopefully it stays that way means I'm leaving the door open, right? I don't know what, at least maybe it's a leverage thing. He's very good at that, as we've seen over the course of his career, but just saying that gives him a little bit of an out. So it's like, he's like, well, I did say hopefully, if I leave or whatever, but I've said this before, but I wouldn't be surprised he's gone, man. He may have one foot out the door already, and can't really blame him. I mean, the prospects of the Lakers winning another title with him at the helm is kind of bleak considering the competition. But all the other components you put on top of it, like, are they going to be able to get another star? Can they stay healthy? Like, well, what's the rest of the season going to look like? The Bronny James component, is that going to really throw a wrench in the gears? I mean, I think before I left that Lakers brass, supposedly high up source, I think it was McMenamin that said this, that they would consider the Bronny aspect of things, to keep LeBron, which I think is a terrible idea, because I think that what if it all goes to hell? Bronny's never sees the floor, pisses off LeBron, becomes a big rift, becomes a problem. I mean, that's inevitably going to become a problem. I mean, come on. I can't see that not becoming a problem at some point. And then you're going to alienate your teammates. But anyway, I've already talked about that, so whatever. Moving on. Somebody also said, there's no chance he's leaving because he's given a $100 million renovation on his house. Well, yeah, that's his retirement home. Like, of course, he loves it here. But that doesn't mean he's willing to go somewhere else, which he's done multiple times already in his career for a year or two, or however long. I mean, who knows how much he's got left? Which he even admitted he doesn't know how many years he's got left. And then the whole 50-50 retirement tour thing, which is an absolute joke. Like, come on, man. I've never seen a superstar like LeBron crave more attention or try to get more headlines than LeBron. There's no way he's just gonna hang it up like Tim Duncan. How can you compare Tim Duncan and LeBron James? It's just, the personalities are completely different. One wants no attention whatsoever, doesn't even want you to look in his direction, which is like Jokic right now, I guess would be the best comp. Whereas LeBron wants you to look in his direction every second of every day. I mean, he proves that with, these cryptic tweets and all of his actions and all the things he says. There's no way he does this without a farewell tour. There's just no way. It's just like Kobe. There's no way he was going to do that. Like, he wanted the recognition, but I mean, Kobe was like on his last legs. I mean, I can't remember how many games he played in that last season, but it wasn't much. That's why he gave it on his all in that last game, which is still the best sporting event I've ever covered. And I don't think that's ever going to get topped. It's just going to be one thing that sticks with me for the rest of my life. Just amazing from start to finish. Anyway, on to the All-Star game. What are they doing now? I don't even understand what the point of this weekend is anymore. All the events suck outside of the three-point contest. That's the only one that I have interest in. I watch the dunk contest just in case there's a dunk that comes out of nowhere, like that we have like an Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine type thing happen again. But that happens like once every 5 years. You just can't count on it. It seems to be getting worse. I mean, I had a little hope with Jaylen Brown being in the contest this year, a little bit of star power, a little bit of extra draw, but that was awful. Like Jaylen Brown's dunks sucked. all the dunks really suck. I mean, McClung actually goes and he's got nothing to lose, so he'll do risky stuff. But the other guys won't do risky things. Like even the no-name guys that are on the bench of teams, they won't do it. They just do these, humdrum, like forgettable dunks, and you're just like, okay, whatever. And I don't know what's going on with that panel. They totally robbed McClung in that first dunk. That was weird, man. That was like almost like it was paid off to like get Jaylen Brown to win or something, which he didn't, obviously. But anyway, I don't understand what they're doing anymore. I mean, the game in itself, I stopped watching probably, I don't know, 3 years ago. I just like, man, this is just unwatchable. It was just gross, like all these cross-court passes that just go flying out of bounds. It's just guys clearly don't give a shit. They're just kind of like going through the motions. They're like, oh, okay, when's it over? Have we scored 200 points yet? Like it's like the first of 200 wins, which is unheard of, man. It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't get what is the point of playing a game if there's no competition? The whole point of the game is competition, is to win. That's the beauty of sports. You go out there to play a competitive thing. You want to see who is the better team, who's going to step up. Like who's the star player, like who inspires you, all that stuff. And there's none of that. There's goofy plays here and there. And I thought the Damian Lillard half court thing was kind of crazy, but that was it. That was it. I mean, 168 3-point attempts. 168. What the hell kind of game is that? Just have another 3-point shooting contest. What's the difference? You just, instead of tiring these, the millionaires out, like just, stop, take a breath and, do a little contest. Like, I don't understand the point of this. And then here and after the game, like somebody said, like, oh, well, you got to incentivize it more with money or whatever. It's like they already win. They already win $100,000 each. For for the winning team gets $100,000, and the losing team gets 25 each player. So they still cash in. So I don't know if it's fixable, to be honest with you. I really don't, and I don't know if they'll go out of their way to try and fix it because they're still getting viewers. I think I saw a graphic today saying that it was up 54% or some crazy number. But at the same time, like, is that sustainable? I mean, next year is going to go down, a considerable amount. Like, I don't know what those new viewers were expecting. And maybe it was just on more platforms or something. I don't know. But it's a shit show. I don't know. But then again, whatever. It's not. It's just one weekend out of the year. I understand these guys want a little rest, and it's a grind. It's a hell of a grind. But I do miss the days of those competitive All-Star games with Jordan, Kobe, and it was fun. It was like like Kobe really made it interesting. He would really go at guys. Like I remember when he went out LeBron that year and blocked him a bunch of times and kind of embarrassed him. But I'd love to see more of that. But then again, it has to be in the player to do that, right? Like you can't, like with that famous saying, you can't walk you can walk a horse to water, but you can't teach it how to drink, right? Like it has to be inside. You have to have that fire to do that competitive spirit. And if it's not there, you can't make them do it. You know what I mean? I don't know how you'd incentivize it enough to I mean, somebody said on my Instagram account, like, make it like baseball, where, home field or home court would be what you get, but then you have to separate it in different ways. So I don't know. I don't know if there is an answer. Hopefully, somebody very creative and smarter than me comes up with something. But it's unwatchable to me. I mean, I just tuned in because now I have a podcast. I want to talk about things. I want to get more involved. But yeah, that was something else. Something else. The 3-point shot, the Steph Curry going up against Sabrina was awesome. I thought that was so cool because she just was lights out. I mean, she could have gone with the men and gone into the final round and possibly won. I mean, how cool would that be? Like say next year you get Caitlin Clark, Sabrina, and somebody else. I mean, I don't follow the NBA, so I don't know who the hot shooters are. But those two I know for sure. If she goes in from Iowa or wherever she plays, that'd be awesome. And then for them to win, I mean, that would create that kind of, that interesting balance where you look forward to that every year. Now that's
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds.
At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
competitive spirit, right? But beyond that, after that, it's just not even worth watching. But that's sports. I'm sure. I don't know what it's like in hockey. I don't even watch the baseball one anymore, really, besides the home run derby, because I think that's kind of fun. But if it's the same thing, I don't. Maybe that's just the way it's going in this era. Anyway, on to the next. Trae Young. I thought that the Trae Young trade talk and him being asked about it at All-Star was interesting. And then the rumors, obviously, that the Lakers have interest and that he's a Klutch client, which always kind of heightens or like makes the possibility a little bit greater that it would happen. So he was asked about, impeding trade rumors or whatever, and he gave an interesting answer. And I think what was it? Jake Fisher of Yahoo is the one who originally came up with the trade rumor. I think said him and the Spurs. I think I could be wrong about that, but anyway, the quote that he had was, "The best players in the game have been traded," and I thought that was interesting. It's almost like he's come to terms with the fact that there's a good chance he's out at some point because it's not working in Atlanta. I mean, come on, it's how many years has it been now? It's just not working. The Murray thing didn't work. They couldn't even trade Murray at the deadline, or they chose not to, which I don't know, found kind of weird. But yeah, he just seems kind of resigned to the fact that he's going to be dealt this summer, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. And I guarantee, if the Lakers have the assets that Atlanta wants, the thing is they just talk to them. So I don't know, maybe they even kicked the tires on Trae and said, like, okay, well, what are you guys looking for? He'd be a good piece next to those guys. I just think he's a bit of a gunner. Doesn't play defense, but then again, 90% of the league doesn't play defense. So bringing up that argument now is kind of like pointless. And then there's Donovan Mitchell, right there. He was the other guy connected. But then again, I think I don't think there's going to be as many teams that go after Trae. I really don't. I think the Lakers, if they do are serious about it, it will be just, one or two teams, right? And then it'll be a little bit of a bidding war. And maybe they land him. Maybe even Trae's like, hey, look, I only want to go to LA, right? And he'll be a pain in the ass about going somewhere else or whatever. But I think that's really realistic. I mean, he'd be a great piece if that's what they can get. Because I don't think they can get Mitchell. I think the Knicks have too many assets. I think the Knicks have been connected to him for too long. If I'm not wrong, I think he's from New York. I think he's always had a a desire to play there. So, and that's if he leaves Cleveland. Who knows if he leaves Cleveland? But yeah. And then there's the Kendrick Perkins thing, which I don't put too much. I don't believe a lot of things Kendrick Perkins says because I think he has to come up with BS every day. I mean, it's a tough job. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how any of those guys do it, but I think you kind of sell your soul a little bit. Kind of like, I don't care what people think of me. Like, I'm just going to throw crap against the wall, see if it sticks. But this one, I think he was on the Pat McAfee show, and he said something to the effect that another superstar is on the way this summer for the Lakers, right? And they just got to get through this season. He wouldn't name the name, of course, or else that would be everywhere. But I did think that was interesting. And it probably is Trae Young. I don't know if I would call Trae Young a superstar, but he's a big name. He's bigger than any name on the roster outside of AD and LeBron, and he'd probably be a good fit. But I don't know. I think that's going to be interesting once the season's over, once the dust is settled, or even once Atlanta and LA get knocked out of the playoffs, which I think is inevitable on both sides. That's going to heat up for sure. It's going to be a hot topic. And then finally, AD and Team USA, where AD said that he would go and play in France this summer if they asked him. I thought that was interesting. I mean, I think they're going to ask him for sure, right? I mean, I think they're going to ask him, LeBron. I don't think Reeves is going to make the cut. Unfortunately, I think that would be a cool experience for him. But even if he did, he'd be like that Christian Laettner type, like on the very end of the bench, or there were some injuries or something that come up. But I think he should do it. I think it'd be great. I'm actually looking forward to the summer because I think it's going to be super competitive. I don't think it's going to be an easy trip for Team USA. Just as we saw in the Philippines, that seemed like the Team USA was coasting until the other teams just turned it up a notch and went like, no, we're going to put you in your place. And they did just that. What they finished? Fourth. That's crazy with the amount of talent, even the second tier talent and third tier talent that the NBA has, or in this country, the United States. It's kind of crazy. And with all the guys that didn't even go, Giannis didn't go, Jokic didn't go. I mean, all the really big names like Embiid. Like, come on, this is a prove a point kind of statement summer for Team USA, especially with I think Steve Kerr's stepping down after this, so it'll be his last hurrah. So who knows what's in store after that? I say you just put Spoelstra in there, but yeah, I think that would be interesting. Get AD go. I mean, I don't know how Lakers fans are going to feel about that because they want to keep him healthy. But look at him this year; he's been an absolute stud, and he's missed a handful of games. And in the running for Defensive Player of the Year, probably go to Gobert, but you never know. AD might be able to sneak in there. But yeah, I keep saying, but yeah. So yeah, we got a Thursday game. I think it's Golden State, if I'm not mistaken. So that should be interesting, especially with that whole Golden State reached out to the Lakers about LeBron's availability, which I think even LeBron addressed, funny enough, even though he claims he doesn't listen to any of this stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if that gets revisited in the summer too. I mean, maybe not a trade, but him going there. Say Clay leaves, open up cap space, but I don't know if they even have the money or what LeBron is willing to take at this point. I think he's set to make $51 million next year. I really gotta put these notes down before I get on here. But I mean, that's interesting. That's an interesting dynamic. So many interesting storylines after the season. The rest of the season is just basically like, can the Lakers compete with the best of the best? I personally don't think so, unless they can flip that switch. I know they have a tough stretch coming up, and I think I said in one of the other pods, like a brutal, brutal stretch where it's going to test them like no other. And I don't think it doesn't start with Golden State, but it's not far off. Here, let me look real quick. Yeah, so Golden State on Thursday, back-to-back with San Antonio on Friday. And I don't think LeBron's playing on Thursday. I think he's having some kind of procedure or some rest thing. I think it's a BS thing just to say I need a little bit more rest to get to Friday because it's back-to-back anyway. So, I mean, I can't really blame him. And it's in Golden State, so they got to travel up north. But this stretch is crazy. It's Phoenix, Clippers, Wizards, which is a wash, Nuggets, OKC, Kings, Bucks, Timberwolves, Kings, Golden State again. That is a brutal. That will tell you how the rest of the season is going to go right there. How they get through that, and I don't see how they're going to in a positive way, is really going to tell the tale for the rest of the way. And most of those are nationally televised. I mean, with Phoenix, Clippers, both nationally televised, ABC, ESPN, Denver nationally televised, OKC nationally televised, Milwaukee, Minnesota Kings. It's just all going to be on the main stage. So the pressure is going to be on. That'll be interesting. I mean, if the Lakers, if the Lakers can get through that, and split it, if they can split that, I would say they're on the right track to doing some damage, because the tail end of the season it's not easy per se, but it's not that hard in certain stretches. Like they have a stretch here with Brooklyn, Toronto, Washington, but then they go Cleveland, Minnesota, Golden State again. God damn, how many times have we played Golden State? It's got to be 4, right? Wow. Anyway, but then they end Memphis, New Orleans. So it's tough go of it. This is going to be a tough stretch, but it's going to be fun, I think. At least I hope it is. At least make it interesting, Lakers. At least make it interesting, please, for all of us, for our sakes. Anyway, wrapping that up. I will get back on here probably before Thursday, if not after Thursday's game. We'll see. We'll just see how everything goes, because we still got a few more days until the next game. So, anyways, see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Believe. You can show support to your host by subscribing to the show and giving us a 5-star rating on your preferred platform. Check us out at Believe.com and search for BLEAV on YouTube.
You know when you're listening to a true crime story that has an unbelievable plot twist that makes you stop in your tracks? That's what our podcast, People Are the Worst, brings you with each episode. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Rebecca. We're identical twins who love true crime cases that make you say, didn't see that coming, and we hate the people responsible for them. Listen to People Are the Worst now on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.